The government of the day is creating unnecessary tension in the country. And if you listen to many opinions, people feel that maybe it is time for the military to take over the leadership of the country. You know, we are led by democracy. That is why people go to elections, and even when some parties are dissatisfied with the decisions of the IEBC, they still head to the Supreme Court. Even after the Supreme Court holds a verdict, those who are not satisfied always say that even though we do not agree with the Supreme Court decision, life has to move on. And that has been the nature of our democracy. But for the first time, I have seen many people calling on the military to take over. When you see people mentioning military, they feel like the government of the day is now using excessive force, or the police is being misused to harass, to torture, to kill, and to abduct dissenting views. Yesterday, a renowned activist, Boniface Mwangi, was abducted from his Luke Kenya home in Machakos. And Martha Karua, together with the other political activists, human rights activists, people like the former Chief Justice William Mutunga, Kabando was there, several of them, held a press conference. And they were saying that Ruto is pushing people into a corner, and he wants to silence each and every person who would want to question anything that is going on within the government. There was a lot of noise in social media. As a result, Boniface Mwangi was taken to Kamkunji. As we speak, he has since been released without any charges. But today, Martha was in one of the media stations, and Martha was saying that the only reason why Boniface Mwangi was lucky to be free is because there was a lot of noise that people made on social media, free Boniface Mwangi, and there was a lot of follow-up. That is why he's lucky to be alive. But Martha is also asserting that there are several people who do not have the kind of connection, the kind of the noise that people made. And so when they're abducted, they don't come back. Because if you are lucky, you are a renowned, activist like Bonnie, then people tend to resonate with you and people can make noise. And Martha is saying that in light of what is happening in the country, it seems like William Ruto has suspended the constitution because what he's doing is extremely unacceptable. And he's saying that Kenyans must now rise up to ensure that William Ruto is not given any space. I want us to listen to Martha Karua, but I want to also remind you of something that she said yesterday, that the abductions that are taking place is undertaken by an elite squad that is comprised of mainly the police from Ruto's tribe. And she shocked Kenyans by saying that there is a military wing that has been imported from DRC, Congo, from Burundi, and from Uganda, that we have reached a state where the abductions, torture, and killing are done and performed by foreign military. Not even the police, but the foreign military. Let's listen to Martha Karua and then we come back.
Martha, yesterday, you, activist Khalef Khalifa, Muhisa Kitui, CJ Emeritus, Dr. Mutunga, Professor Mutunga, and Kabando addressed a media conference with a long statement. And the thrust of it was basically just saying that things are not going right.
Yeah.
What is this?
It looks like Dr. Ruto has suspended the constitution without saying so. We cannot be having abductions by state agencies or by police officers or security officers not in uniform, who refuse to identify themselves, who refuse to say for what offense they are picking somebody, and who do not disclose where they are taking someone. I believe yesterday it is the fact that the social media went viral, That's the only reason they took Boni to Kamukunji. Otherwise, if they were taking him to a police station, why was it so difficult to say so at the point they picked him? Why was it difficult to say we are police officers, we are here for this and that offense? I believe if it were not for social media and for Kenyans and for the media generally, Bob Jagi and the Aslam brothers would not have been released, and we do not know what would have become of them. I know there are many other people being picked who do not have networks that can cry out for them. And some never return. We now know of the Pegulia gentleman whom they abducted. 1 week, he surfaced dead. We know of Gen Zs like Denzel Omondi, who was picked during the Gen Z protests and surfaced in a quarry dead. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights listed over 60 people, if you like, missing. We do not know whether their list and who else is missing. It could be in the hundreds. What have we become? A country that abducts, tortures and kills its own. A country that is having detention camps. And this is not in dispute. Remember, the Bob Jagi and the Aslam brothers clearly said where they were, there were many others. To date, police have never owned up that they're the ones who held them. And we know they are the ones. Look, the morning Masengeri is going to court under threat of being jailed because he's showing up, because there's a warrant to detain him, is the day they are released clandestinely. What government operates like that? If you cannot guarantee or rather respect people's right to life and guarantee their liberty other than, if you're picked within the law, then you do not deserve to be in power. This is a regime Kenyans must get ready to throw out. Yeah, and that can even be before 2027.
In light of what is happening, you also know that recently when the courts gave conservatory orders stopping the swearing in of Kithure Kindiki, it remained constitutionally that Rigathi Gachagua was and is still the deputy president of Kenya. But William Ruto went ahead and forced his employees on compulsory leave. Some of them were turned away when they tried to access their offices and they were told to go home indefinitely. Rigathi's security was withdrawn in a way to intimidate and frustrate Rigathi Gachagua. But there are allegations that the military told William Ruto that he should reinstate that Rigathi's security so that we don't seem like we are in a banana republic. In a post that has been seen, someone here is saying that it is confirmed that the military ordered that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's security be immediately reinstated as part of their constitutional duty, not the Surgoi Constitution. The military is responsible for protecting the presidency. Now, if you ask me, I feel that these are Kenyans. I can't authenticate what he's saying, but if you listen to many people, how they wish that the military takes over, such kind of post we give them the benefit of doubt. William Ruto is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, and I know even if the military wanted William Ruto to reinstate the security, they would channel their concerns through the available mechanisms within the military council. So we do not, have the authority to discuss this, but it just tells you, William Ruto, under his care, abductions are happening, people are dying. Like Martha Karua was talking of way from June during the Gen Z protest, that people like Denzel were killed, others just went missing, and people like Njagi. For a very long time, they were detained until people made a lot of noise and they came back alive. And this is something that Martha Karua is associating with the noise that people make. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if we have external aggression, foreign military coming into the country, and it is alleged that they take part in abduction, they take part in killings and torture, of our citizens. Like the same way I treat this post is the same way I treat what Martha Karua told us, that there are foreign military that are involved in all these atrocities in the country. Now, at what point do we now call the military to take over? That is the question that I want us to ask. When it is alleged, let's say it is true, let's believe it's true, then what more does the military need to take over? If William Ruto decides that the courts have ruled that Rigathi Gachagua is still the deputy president and it takes away the security, people are being abducted in broad daylight without charges, like Boniface Mwangi was released, then at what point do we now, in fact, let me tell you something. Sometimes it is not good even too long that the military takes over. We need a democratic process where once you are elected, embrace peace and unity. That is what William Ruto should be doing. But you see, sometimes it behoves people to start, thinking that maybe in the hands of the military, things can go well. You remember during the demonstrations of the Gen Zs, the military was ordered to go to the streets. And you see, maybe the president thought that people would be scared of the military. But the manner in which the common people, welcomed, the kind of reception that the military found on the streets, forced them to just endear themselves to the people. Because people seem to be so happy to see the military than the police, because the police is being ordered anyhowly to beat people, to kill, and to maim them. But the military, as we have always seen the Kenyan military, we believe they are very, very disciplined. We've never seen outright open politicking taking place. I understand that the military is so disciplined that even when it comes to succession, they will always sit down as a military council, and whatever they decide, if it is a Kisi, a Luo, a Kal, they will not care. They will not look at your tribe. And that's why Kenyans are calling upon the military to come in and neutralize what is happening, because they feel that the executive arm of the government is using excessive force, extrajudicial killings, and they feel that if the UDA government is left to continue this way, we are going to lose many lives because the police is not doing anything better. I don't know what you think, because when I heard that all this is happening, you cannot decide to, toss in security the way you want. The Rigathi Gachagua staff that went to access the offices found the Rapid Deployment Unit police in the gates, and they were told, go home indefinitely. What is happening is that people feel that he has suspended the constitution, he's ruling with iron fist, and we need to restore sanity in the country. And that's why people are saying, can't the military just come and take over? Can't they reign? I don't know whether you feel that things are not going the right way, but when a president decides to use the police to intimidate people, to break the law, to do things outside the constitution, then we need another power that can tell the president, you are naked and we're not going to accept this. And that power can only be the military. I don't know whether it is uncalled for, I don't know whether it is an exaggerated thinking, but just try to ask a few people around. You'll realize that many feel that maybe if it was the military, things would be better. I don't know what you think, but that's my take.